Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Alignment Academy with Reema. And I am so excited to be here today. I am so excited that I figured out a new way to live stream. Oh my gosh. Yes, so excited to be here. Let me double check and make sure this thing is on. Okay, perfect. Yes, we are here. So excited. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to engage with people and just, have a new way of connecting. But a little bit about me before we even get into it today. So, I am Reema of the Alignment Academy, and I help women who feel stuck and they feel unfulfilled and burnt out and tired. I help guide them and transform their lives into their most juicy, easeful, playful, luscious life because that's what women deserve. That's what we all deserve. So why not? So today I really wanted to get on here and to chat about doing less to achieve more. So I was journaling yesterday about what is coming up, and something that really stuck with me was this concept of doing less to achieve more. And I feel like this is really one of my core pillars today, but I feel like it is so important in today's society because we live in this super, like masculine, like overworked, work society that brainwashes people into always doing, and that's not always what's in our best interest. And then also, if you're watching this around the time that it launches, it is December. So, we get all that new year, new me chatter, and new year, new me. Yes, I love that. But it's also this narrative of it's 20 more days left in the year. You got to finish it out strong. You got to start a business, lose 38 pounds, move across the country, get a whole new friend group, buy a new house, buy a new car in 28 days before the year ends to start it out strong. And yes, dramatic, but there is that, that narrative that really has people like in this like overdrive, do mode towards the end of the year. And I don't think that's serving us. I feel like, especially if you're a woman and it's the winter time, at least like I'm on the East Coast, it's the winter time over here. It's chilly outside. I mean, clearly I got a scarf on, but this is the inward period. This is when we go inward. This is when we get quiet. This is when we really just get clarity and intentional on what we want to do moving forward, how we want to do it. This is also when we listen. I'm a big fan of praying. So, like praying and listening to get that clarity. So, I think it can be very purposeful and very impactful when we actually do the opposite and we actually get quiet and when we do less. And I think when we do less, we can achieve so much more. So, today I want to chat a little bit about a few times in my life. So, I have examples of when I did less to achieve more. And honestly, looking back, it's some of my biggest manifestations was like doing less to achieve more. I mean, it's looking back, it's really beautiful how things came about. But I also want to give examples of when I was doing the opposite, when I was doing the most, and when I was not achieving that much, doing the most because it wasn't really in alignment with who I really was. I wasn't using my energy correctly, and working so hard, but to achieve what? So one of those moments when I was, working so hard, really not accomplishing that much. The first thought, and if you see me look down, it's because I jotted down notes earlier. But the first thought that comes to my mind is when I graduated college and I got my first job post college. So, in my last video, I broke down gems in the Beyonce film and I kind of chatted about, really quickly how like I'm a music fan, like I love music, I love so many different genres. So I really wanted to work in the music industry. And in college, I interned in the music industry. And then post college, I worked in the music industry. So I got my dream job. I was like, oh my gosh, this is my dream job. I'm so excited, can't wait to be here. And then when I got there, I was like really put into this burnout situation. I was so tired. I was working so hard, living in New York City. And it's very interesting because that was probably the time period in my life where I was working the hardest and I was the most burnt out. Is definitely, if it's not number one, it's top two. But I was the most burnt out. And looking back, it was also the least amount of money I was making. It was very, very, just not very intentional, working very hard, doing the most, and not achieving so much. Literally the opposite of what I'm encouraging today. And I feel like this is important, and I feel like it's very relatable because there's so many people out there who are just on this hamster wheel of life. And it's very interesting because we're working so hard and it's so easy to like lose who you really are at your core, lose your creativity, lose your vision, lose your soul mission on this hamster wheel where we're working so hard. But it's like, what are we working for? Are we even really achieving that much? And the magic is in doing the less. We have cycles for a reason, especially if you're a woman. Like we have monthly cycles, we have monthly winters. So while I thought of this video because it was winter time and it felt very timely for us to go inward, if you're a woman, you have a monthly winter to go inward. And it's very important to honor that part of you. So this work situation, I mean, it had pros and cons. It was definitely a toxic situation. I am grateful for it because I did meet some amazing people. But this situation is honestly what really kicked off my inner work and my wellness journey because I felt like the soul was being sucked out of me so much. I was like, I have to make a change. I have to do something or else I can't live like this. I didn't feel good in my body. It was not great, but this was the moment when I really decided like I have to create change. And I actually started meditating daily while I was there. And that was honestly the game changer. Like that's when I could really separate myself from the situation, go deeper within my body, reconnect with myself, redirect, and get back on track. And I really do recommend that for anyone who's in a similar situation. If you feel like, I mean, there's so many things that you can do when you are in those situations, but I recommend honestly having a toolbox of different things that you could tap into. And I highly recommend that meditation is in your toolbox because it is so powerful. It can really just ground you back into the truth of who you are to make sure you are, in alignment with who you are and walking towards that purpose. And also I did yoga. I was waking up at 7 a.m., 6 a.m. doing yoga before I got on the train, before I got to work. And that was also a really great opportunity to reconnect with my body, explore some of the traumas I've been through within my body and have those things come up to be healed as well. So highly recommend that if you are in those toxic situations. But that was just a quick example of a time period in my life where it's so many people are doing this. We're working so hard, but are we even achieving? Like, is the mathing? Is the efforting equaling the output? Like, it's a good chance that it's not. Your health is priceless. Your time, your energy, it's sacred. So how can you peel back the layers? How can you do less? And how can you rest more? Because honestly, like your body needs it, especially if you're burnt out. And also, if you're in this situation, I highly, highly, this just came to me. I mean, boundaries are going to be the game changer. It's going to be what's going to either like put you in a position where you still feel like your soul is being sucked out of you or put you in a position where you feel like you're empowered. Boundaries are so important. And honestly, this came to me recently, but if you were in this position, I would honestly reframe how you look at work and think of work as a place where you get to practice your boundaries and you're getting paid for it. Instead of saying, okay, I go to work every day and like I hate it, blah, 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 blah. Say, okay, I have this position, I have this job, I have choice to be here. I'm choosing to be here. I could start a business or I could get another job, but I'm choosing to be here and I'm going to make the best of it. And I'm going to use this as an opportunity to practice my boundaries and get paid for it. Honestly, little mindset shifts like that can make the biggest difference. So definitely practice boundaries. I would highly recommend, and I have a master class that goes really deep into this on such a profound level. But one of the tactics that I use in my master class is creating a list of what you're willing to engage in and what you're not willing to engage in. So if you're in the workplace, talking about how you are, or writing down how, for example, I'm not willing to engage in work drama. I'm not willing to engage in extra work. I'm not willing to engage in working past 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. I'm not willing to engage in any workplace toxicity. I'm not willing to engage in, I don't know, whatever it is that feels like it's draining your energy. Literally deciding that you're not doing it anymore. And then on the other side, you can write down how you're willing to engage in workplace ease, chat GPT, if you are allowed to use that. I'm willing to engage in actually making mindful friendships while I'm here. I'm willing to engage. I'm willing to engage in workplace boundaries. So really just getting like very clear on what you are going to do and what you're not going to do and sticking to it. Practice is key. Okay. That was a long first example. And then for the second example, I wanted to talk about, so this is a really interesting one. And I realized that I didn't even really view this as me doing the most until like today or yesterday when I was journaling about it. But when I was in college and I was, kind of like interning in the music industry, I actually threw a really large scale concert with high level talent, like one of the biggest rappers out there. I was in charge of talent, production, this, that, like I spearheaded this show. And at the time, it was amazing for my ego. And I was really tired and burnt out putting it together because I never did anything like this. And also, yeah, so I do have a little bit of events background and side note, but I'm really excited about that because with the Alignment Academy, I totally want to do wellness retreats, inner work retreats, different countries, different cities, community, all the girls. It's going to be a vibe. I mean, I have no idea when this is going to happen, but I'm putting it out there just because like I really do enjoy throwing events. So I threw this event, but the one thing about it that's like icky is like I was not paid for this. I was a student and I was not paid for this. And people get paid big bucks to do this. And there is a law of compensation. I literally brought this book. I didn't read it yet. I can't see it all the way from here. I think it's called The Law of Divine Compensation, but there is an energetic exchange when it comes to trading goods, trading services, and that needs to occur in order for something to really be in alignment. So the fact that I wasn't paid for this, it's like I was doing the most, but did I really accomplish anything, or did just my ego accomplish something? It was definitely totally ego driven. My ego accomplished something of, oh, I did this, but it's not making sense. If the financial compensation wasn't there. So those are my two examples of, and hopefully someone can take something from that. Hopefully you can maybe look at your life and see where you might be doing the most and really look at, well, if you're efforting so hard and so much and you're trying so hard, are you really even achieving, whatever it is that you want to achieve, or accomplishing whatever it is that you want to accomplish? Is there a way you can get it done in an easier way? How can it be easy? Journal on it, ask yourself, how can it be easy? Because I guarantee you the answer is there. And not only can it be done with less work, it will be so much more potent, so much more powerful if you can slow down, reconnect with your body, rest, and honor that cycle of doing less. And then, okay, so for the time in my life where I actually did the least amount and accomplished so much, this is one of my bigger financial manifestations. And it's so interesting because I was in high school when it happened. And it's very interesting because a lot of the things that we are talking about, manifestation, or even being in your feminine energy, or really being in alignment with who you are and, your soul's purpose, children are really good at this naturally before they're conditioned out of it. So to me, it almost makes sense that this happened when I was younger, because in high school, maybe I wasn't fully conditioned out of it yet. Like I didn't enter the workplace, in New York yet. So it makes sense. But this was, so basically I did the lease and manifested a scholarship for college, but it was a really like robust scholarship. I could go to any school that I wanted to for free, any grad program that I wanted to for free, like stipends for whatever it is that I wanted to do, like spending money. It was a really like robust program. And I really did the least to bring it about. Very interesting. So long story short, like someone in my family, my pop texted my father and I about it. My dad and I, we were like, cool, what's this? Let's go check it out. It was at a church. We were learning about it at a church. We were like, oh, this is cool. This would be really nice. All right, we'll apply. So I applied. I will say I did the aligned action, after I got the guidance to go there. Because I did apply, I put forth my best effort. I got the recommendations. I remember not hanging out with my friends for a little bit, but it didn't feel like effort. It didn't feel hard. It just felt like, oh, this is a cool opportunity. I get to write stories about myself and, help secure a part of my future. And one of the major things I did in this moment was I forgot about it. After I applied, I let it go. I did not choke this, potential manifestation at the time. I did not choke it. I wasn't obsessing with it. I wasn't like, where is it at? Where is it at? I feel like we see that so much. And I've definitely dealt with that, in my adult years as well, when it's like, we want to call in money, or we want to call in, a new career, or we want to call in romantic partnership. And, a lot of people are really choking that. And they're like, where is that? Where is that? Where is that? And it's like this chasing energy. And that creates a disconnect, and it doesn't feel good. But I completely forgot about it. And one day it just came, and it was like, oh, I forgot about that, but this is nice. Okay. So it saved me so much money. So I'm very grateful for that. But it is really interesting that one of my bigger financial manifestations happened so young, when I was, I don't know, 16, 17. But I say that to say, all of these stories say that it's very important to honor your season of rest. And it doesn't even always have to be like the 4 seasons of the year. Like I said, for women, this happens on a monthly cycle. This could happen on a daily cycle, like whatever it is, but not being on this hamster wheel of always doing, because the power is in our being, especially for women. The power is in our being, especially for women. Slowing down, resting, receiving, listening. That's when we can really root into our power on a deeper level. And I feel like now is the perfect time to do it. Being winter, you can get aligned for the new year by doing this, versus trying to keep up with the TikTok Joneses and doing the most. It's so important. And also, I feel like when it comes to doing less, you also have to be really intentional with who you surround yourself with, because if all of your friends are in your ear telling you, how are you finishing off the year, girl, it's 7 days left, it's 14 days left, it's 21 days left, what you gonna do, what you gonna do, and they're clocking you, like, make sure you're really surrounding yourself with people who support your moment of rest and your quiet. And also, when I think of this, I also think of nature. If you look at nature, if you look at plants, if you look at trees that are so tall, 50 feet tall, I made that number up. I have no idea how tall trees are, but maybe those redwood trees in California, those huge ones, if you look at nature, nature is not painfully efforting to grow. It just grows by nature. It is not doing the most, running around on a hamster wheel like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to become a better version of itself. It just lets it happen naturally. And it honors its cycles. It honors its cycle of rest and quiet and winter, the bloom, the summer of feeling so vibrant and fun and joyful, and then also the release, which is so important as well. Oh, I could do a whole video about the season of release. I feel like I've been through so many different cycles and seasons of release, but you have to release as well to create the new. So if you want to look at this deeper, I mean, go to the source, go outside, go to nature and ground yourself and just really take it in. So I'm looking at the time because I got a Pilates class, but this came to me and I feel like it was really important to talk about. There's also a whole chapter on this. I feel like I could really I might even do a part two to this video and go in even deeper. The book is called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and it might be called the law of least effort, and it talks about how you can really, same thing, like doing the least to achieve the most biggest, beautiful, juicy manifestations with ease. It doesn't have to be hard. This channel in my courses, I do talk about God sometimes, and I'm open to all religions, like all spiritualities, like a very open person. But I think that sometimes when we are efforting so much, we also might be stepping on God's toes, because God also has a plan for us and we can connect to that plan and like listen to that plan, versus thinking that we have to do it all ourselves. Like, don't step on God's toes. Let God do some of the work as well. So I wrote down a few journal prompts here, and my first journal prompt for you is, where can I do less? Where in my life can I do less? I recommend for people in the workplace who are burnt out to get really like cutthroat, like a little savage with this. Definitely do less. I go way deeper into this in my course, in my boundaries masterclass. Oh, I'm so obsessed with that course. It is such good information. It's such foundational things too, like things they should teach in school, things that should just be like ingrained in you as a child, but it's not. And then a lot of us become adults without boundaries. So I highly, highly recommend it. If you buy it, you have lifetime access to it, including all of the new group coaching and content, etc., that I put in it. So I highly, highly recommend it. But yeah, if you are actually like burnt out at work and you're really looking for change, do less, like 50% less, or no, maybe even a little more. I also want to say that I personally feel like, I mean, clearly, I'm a Black woman, and Black people are some households are taught to work. There's a saying in the culture that you have to work, I think it's with older generations, not so much younger generations, but you have to work twice as hard to be on the same page as And then if you're a woman, there's another like layer of that as well. So peeling back to what might feel like a lower percentage for you, honestly, might be someone else's 100%. And I've seen this so many times through and through. So the journal prompt is, where can I do less? And if you're burnt out, make sure maybe, you know, you can start slow, but you definitely need to peel back and do less for yourself and choosing yourself, putting yourself first. The second journal prompt is, what is the truth of who I am? I feel like this is really important because modern society tries to strip the truth away from you, like your true self, what you really love, what you feel like you came here to do. And that's sucking the soul out of someone, and it's not a good feeling. So, this hopefully will help someone reconnect with their truth. So, what is the truth of who I am? And then the last journal prompt is, what parts of me want to emerge in 2024? Maybe you have a creator part of you that wants to emerge, or a part of you that wants to be, I don't know, in the spotlight, or a part of you that wants to write more, a part of you that wants to be more playful, a part of you that wants love. The world is endless, but really journal on what parts of you want to emerge in 2024. And when you do these journal prompts, drop into your body. Like, don't be so heady and up here with it. Like, imagine, I watched this TikTok. It was, when they interview the little kids, and like the little kids are so cute and they give like really good wisdom. But this little boy was like, oh, when I'm stressed, I just do the elevator. And he said, breathe up. And they show a little visual of the elevator next. Breathe up and then go down. And I was like, that is just I'm so glad the kids know stuff like that. But do the elevator, you can breathe up, but then breathe down into your body, so you can really allow your body wisdom to come through. My body wisdom always surprises me when I'm in my body and I'm journaling. It says things that I would never think of, ideas I would never think of. So really let it come through and let the truth of who you are come through with these journal prompts. And that is really it for me. I might do a part 2 to go like deeper into do less to accomplish more in the law of least effort. But let me know how you like this in the comments. This was really fun. I'm glad I figured out the tech stuff, and I'll see you later. I don't know how to